it feels good to be a chap. Treating ladies with...
How did I find Chapism? In the 90s, I was in a sort of hip-hop band called the Schooner Boys. We were together about 12 years. We played one gig, which was the last thing we ever did. But we made a few films. They were a bit sort of like the Monkees or something like that. I kind of refer to us as a dandy punk band. So we would sing lots of songs about quaffing sherry, but there was sort of sherry and ultra-violence seemed to be a thing. It was sort of Clockwork Orange meets Noel Coward. So I'd always been interested in that sort of aspect of things, and I'd always liked old, Carry On films and Tony Hancock. A friend of mine in Paris, weirdly enough, told me about the Chap magazine in very early 2000s, and I thought, this sounds brilliant. And he was doing some kind of slightly Victorian hip-hop thing as well. And I think I was at that stage when I was looking for an excuse to dress better anyway. I think I kind of wanted to look like that, but you have to give yourself an excuse to do it. And I remember, yes, I was in the pub one day with some friends, and I'd already tried to introduce a thing called Suit Autumn, which was as in, if we were going to the pub in the autumn, we had to wear suits. And I think I was the only one that actually did it, but I decided that was a rule, so that I was going to do that. And the whole idea of Chap Hop and Mr. B just came to me in the pub in a way, and I said, right, I'm going to do this. It's going to be Chap Hop, it's going to be Mr. B the Gentleman Rhymer. And it was a sort of culmination of lots of other things I'd done before. I mean, Brits have always been good at fashion, really. I mean, it's, if you look at high fashion, it's always, New York, London, Paris and Milan or what have you. So it's always there or thereabouts. Obviously, the 80s, everyone was dressing up and being sort of glam and what have you. And the 90s, everything's a reaction to the previous era, really. So in the 90s, everyone was just, plaid and jeans. And the pops, the people you followed, the musicians you followed tended to be dressed down as well. And I wasn't particularly angry about that or anything like that. I just thought, it's time for a change, really. Personally, for me, as soon as I remember buying the first suit I'd bought for a long time, probably, about 2000 or so, and just putting it on and immediately feeling better. I felt like I was stood taller, and it just changed the way I felt myself. And that was probably the main thing for me, just suddenly feeling, just interesting. Also, living in Brighton, it's easy enough to look like this and have no one bat an eyelid. But, certainly touring around the country, if you're having a wander around Leeds city centre, you get a lot of, comments and things like that. But generally speaking, though, I've never had hassle for the way I look at all. People are always, they'll make a comment, but it's usually a nice comment, or like, I like your tash or something like that. But generally speaking, there's not, I never get actual hassle for it. But I think, because often it's the thing, if you did dress in a certain way, and certainly if you dress differently, I think a lot of people that might hassle you think, if you're brave enough to do that, then maybe, let's leave them alone.
And I am the gentleman rhymer. My name is Mr. B. And I am